Hello everyone, this is the IGN review discussion for Mortal Kombat X. This is our reviewer, Vincent Janito.
Hello.
Kyle O'Connor.
What's up?
Destin Legary.
Hi everybody.
And Vince, this is what you thought of Mortal Kombat X.
Story only matters so much in a fighting game. Combat is king, and there's a ton of depth to mine for Mortal Kombat X. A much-needed transfusion of new blood, along with the ability to choose between 3 variations of every character, means we'll be learning, grinding, and discovering for a long time to come. Its universe keeps getting harder and harder to take seriously, but Mortal Kombat X is a great fighting game all the same.
All right, Vince, one thing you didn't mention in this video review, you do cover it in the text review.
Yes.
It's become kind of controversial for understandable reasons, is Mortal Kombat X has a lot of microtransactions in it.
Yeah, there's so the way they're presented is interesting because there's nowhere in game where you can actually buy currency per se, but there are definitely ways in which you are intended to be siphoned off to the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Live to buy things. So, like for instance, they have the easy fatalities,
Which is weird.
which is a weird thing because fatalities are not hard, people. Like,
They're not. They're really
That's what I don't
not,
get. Like it's like doing if you can do a fireball motion, you can do a fatality. Like
The way
it's
toward
really
down square.
Yeah, it's not tough.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird thing to me in the first
I guess the
place.
question is, how did you win a fight without being able to do that?
Yeah, look, it's like if you literally can't do anything that complex, then like I don't know who you're beating exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So these are tokens that you can buy for there's a $5 pack and a
They have a couple different packs. There's like a 30. I think there's a 30 pack of them.
Right.
The
for
99-cent pack and a $4.99 pack.
Right, the $4.99 is 30 of those tokens. Then they also have tokens for skipping fights in the story mode.
Yeah.
And I think that
I don't
works.
think you can purchase those though yet, but I bet they're coming.
Oh, it's got to be coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be coming. But I mean, like, just as soon as you start incentivizing these things,
But
in that way.
they also have the $20 upgrade where you can skip all of the progression.
So yeah, so there's the Crypt Is Back, and the Crypt is the way you unlock everything in Mortal Kombat, like all the costumes, all the music and stuff. But you can either grind and earn gold to do that, or now they just dropped on us that you can pay $20 and you just get all that stuff.
Or you can just go to IGN's wiki, find out where all the coins are, get what you want, and don't spend anything.
Plug.
Yeah.
But
And of course they've got Goro on the main character selection screen, where if you didn't pre-order it, you don't have him. It just says press X to buy, and I guess that may or may not
I don't
work.
even know if you can buy them right now.
Right,
either.
it may or may not
That's
work right now.
Not working.
Which is,
you can.
yeah, that's misleading to me,
Yeah.
but also annoying. And so that's in-game, advertising for DLC.
it is. I mean, like, it's not an actual ad, right? But I mean, that's practically what it is.
That is an ad.
You know, it's and then you go the next step with it even is you go to the title screen, and right on the title screen, like the whole first top half of the title screen is
Buy stuff.
Is on the right there's the towers and there's other stuff, but right there dead in the middle is here's your link to the store. Go there now.
PlayStation Store.
And buy stuff. I'm like, there's a limit to how much I'm willing to put up with in my experience before I start feeling like I'm being marketed to.
Yeah.
And MKX went like right to the line. Like it went right to the line and stopped like one more hair, it would have teetered over and I would have been like, okay, this is really bothering me.
Well, I mean, I think we do need to point out that none of these things that we've pointed out so far, none of them have, except for Goro, none of them have any gameplay impact whatsoever.
Sure.
That's not true. The Crypt stuff, if you fully unlock the Crypt, you get all the brutalities, and you can't do that without unlocking them first. There is no way to easily do that by farming coins. You actually would have to spend, I did the math, about 30 hours. If you get 500 coins a match, it would be about 30 hours to unlock everything in the Crypt.
The brutalities are still just like cosmetic finishing moves, right?
They are just, to say their gameplay is, but that's the thing that's tough about it. And Dan and I had this conversation, like, are fatalities cosmetic or are they gameplay? They're a thing you do, but they're not a thing that impacts whether or not you win, so...
It's kind of like a skin on the finishing move.
Right, it's almost like what it's like. That's almost like what it is, So it's tough to say.
You said they didn't pass the line. I have to disagree. I think they're past the line at this point. We become kind of complacent about on-disc DLC being okay to charge for. Goro being there in the menu as a pre-order incentive so that they can inflate their pre-order sales records. I really take an issue with that, and developers need to stop doing this.
And I'm sorry, Carl.
Well, no, I agree with that. Like,
I mentioned that there's some of the microtransactions that don't really bother me, but Goro being on the disc and being in the menu, and when
And
you go
you fight
around-
him.
and you fight him, and I'm pretty sure if you at certain towers you can end up fighting as him, even if you haven't bought him.
The
But
Premier Tower right now allows you to play as him even if you haven't bought him.
oh wow, right as it dropped, like
What a surprise!
yeah, that I have an issue with. Like the crypt unlock for $20, you know, it doesn't really bug me. My time's worth more than $20, especially if it takes 30 hours to get the coins. But yeah, the Goro being on the disc is just really upsetting.
Well, here's a counterpoint to that, where they do already give you 24 characters, which, as we discussed in a previous segment, like that's a fair number of characters to charge $60 for. So whether he's on the disc or not, like, does that really make a difference?
The base game is $60. Goro, let's be nice, say he's $4.99, right? Plus the character pack, that is $24.99, I believe. It's starting to add up fast. You
Absolutely.
unlock the crypt, that's another $20. You've now spent $100 for a base product so that you can do all the brutalities, play as one of the characters, and experience all the skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like, and we've had this discussion before, like even with Destiny, which is not really microtransaction related, but grind related, right? Like,
Yeah.
I come from a generation of players who just grinding was what you did. That was just a part of the game, and like to me, I don't mind if it took 30 hours, if it took 300 hours to unlock all the stuff in the crypt, I wouldn't care. I would be like, okay, that's fine. I find this fun, I'm gonna do it. But the second there's a price, and I don't care if the price is $5, $10, or $20, as soon as there's a price for it, you've placed a value on my time.
Literally like what I
and
just
now that
said.
makes me feel stupid for doing it.
Like what I just said, yeah, my time's
Yeah.
worth more than that. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll spend the $20.
Right, but like that, like
That's the
like the
compulsion.
entire point of one of these systems, for these progression systems, is to make you feel like you're like this is something you should want to do. But then they're incentivizing you to pay to not have to do it. So they're labeling it a chore, something you should pay to get rid of.
They've also made it so prohibitive, you know, based on how much they give you coin-wise, that you're more apt to spend the $20. And if we talk about their mobile app for a second, you cannot beat that without spending money. They said you can, but I've already hit the paywall at level 12, where you just simply cannot progress any further without spending gold, you know? And the gold they give you per match is like 10, and the lowest silver character is 35,000 gold.
So at the same time, though, like this game is effectively fully functional without spending any extra money. Like you get the 24 fighters, you get all the modes, you get this progression system which feels grindy, but you do get all of that.
Which is ultimately why I didn't ding. My score does not reflect any kind of anything being taken off for this stuff. Only because, yeah, I do feel like what average Joe will get for their $60 without spending another dime is fully featured and substantial, and that's always where I'm going to come down, is whether or not what we were given was, you know, handicapped or hamstrung by other plans to make us pay more. I don't feel in this case that MKX is a hamstrung game unless you spend more. I just think that I'm uncomfortable with how forward they are about saying, hey, you could spend more.
Kyle, what do you think? Is it broken or not?
I don't think it's broken. I
I
agree that I don't think it's broken like that, and I agree that you shouldn't have let it impact your total score, but Goro being on the disc really bugs me. And because I paid $60 for this game, the game should be everything on the disc, but then you're making me pay an extra, like you said, $5.99 for what's on the disc already, and that really bugs me. And then they're like, oh, if you pre-order it, which I did for the Xbox, I'm gonna get 2 versions of it. If you pre-order it, you're gonna get Goro, which is totally done to inflate their pre-order numbers, which is totally, that's not serving the consumer. That's not serving the person you're making the game for. It's serving the company who develops it, and its investors, or however this one's.
It's publisher, really.
Publisher, yeah, sorry.
And Destin, you think that it is kind of broken without buying more money?
Remember when you bought Mortal Kombat 1 and everything was on the disc and you found the cool secret stuff? That was fun.
Yeah.
And today, people are stripping stuff out of their games to charge you more money to buy it. And we need to stop saying that's okay.
All right, well that's what we think about that. There's some division on whether or not Mortal Kombat has gone too far. Let us know what you think in the comments, and for more on Mortal Kombat X and more of our review discussion, please come back to IGN.